Have you ever noticed that the most defining moments of your life, the ones that shaped you, tested you, and ultimately made you who you are, were also the most uncomfortable? Maybe it was a heartbreak that left you shattered, a job you hated but couldn't quit, a move to a new city where you didn't know a soul, or even that first terrifying moment you stood up for yourself. Now, let me ask you something deeper. What if discomfort isn't something to avoid, but the very compass that points us toward growth? Welcome to a journey that turns comfort zones into launch pads. Because on the other side of fear, frustration, and failure, there is you, the version of you you've always been becoming. Welcome to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. This is where stories unfold, ideas challenge, and inner landscapes expand. Whether you're walking through transformation, chasing clarity, or just need something real to anchor you, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Comfort is seductive. It lulls us into routines, patterns, and predictable days. It offers safety, familiarity, and the illusion of control. We live in a world obsessed with comfort. Fast food, fast answers, convenience, efficiency, minimizing struggle. We design our lives to avoid discomfort, physically, emotionally, socially. And yet, comfort rarely brings us meaning. It rarely gives us stories worth telling. Discomfort, on the other hand, is the teacher that doesn't wait for permission. It barges in uninvited, flips the table, and demands your attention. We resist it, but maybe we shouldn't. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens in the stretch, in the strain, in the space where you're unsure, unsteady, and undone. Think about it. Muscles only grow when they're pushed beyond their limits. A seed must crack open before it can grow into a tree. A caterpillar must dissolve into chaos inside a cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. There is no transformation without disruption. And the same principle applies to us. When we enter situations that challenge us, socially, intellectually, emotionally, our inner landscape starts to shift. Our assumptions are questioned. Our fears surface. Our resilience is tested. It's uncomfortable. And it's essential. Consider this. A college student who freezes during her first presentation, but keeps showing up. A man who loses everything in a divorce, then rebuilds not just his finances, but his sense of self. A young woman who moves to a foreign country, doesn't speak the language, but finds her voice anyway. None of these journeys began in ease. Discomfort was the doorway. Ask any artist, entrepreneur, survivor, or leader. The turning point didn't come when life was easy. It came when things fell apart, or nearly did. Discomfort forced reflection. Reflection led to action. Action led to change. This is how growth works. Even neuroscience backs it up. When we face discomfort, the brain releases cortisol and adrenaline, activating the fight or flight response. While this might seem negative, it's actually an opportunity. This state of heightened awareness allows for neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. In other words, discomfort is the signal that change is happening. The brain becomes more open to new patterns, ideas, and behaviors when it's under stress. The trick isn't to avoid that stress, but to manage it, navigate it, and ultimately learn from it. Resilience isn't about never feeling discomfort. It's about learning to be with discomfort and still move forward. We live in a culture that idolizes ease. You've seen the headlines. 3 easy steps to happiness. Lose 10 pounds without changing your diet. Manifest your dream life instantly. But real change, real transformation? It's messy. It's not a straight line. It's a spiral of discomfort, breakthroughs, breakdowns, and breakthroughs again. Our fear of discomfort has created a world where we choose numbness over presence, distraction over depth, and instant gratification over long-term growth. But the truth is, what we avoid often holds the key to what we seek. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a map. Feeling nervous before public speaking? You care about your message. Feeling awkward in a new relationship? You're learning how to be vulnerable. Feeling stuck in your job? You're craving purpose. These feelings aren't signs you're broken. They're signs you're becoming. When we stop running from discomfort, we can start listening to it. What is this teaching me? What do I need to face? What do I need to let go of? These questions unlock transformation. History is filled with people who walked through discomfort and changed the world. Rosa Parks didn't sit in the front of the bus because it was easy. Nelson Mandela didn't spend 27 years in prison because it was comfortable. Malala Yousafzai didn't speak out for girls' education because she felt safe. They embraced discomfort, not because they wanted to suffer, but because something mattered more than comfort. We can draw from their courage, not to compare our stories to theirs, but to recognize that every act of growth requires a step into the unknown. So how can we start embracing discomfort in daily life? 1. Do one thing every week that scares you. Call someone. Try something new. Speak up. Say no. Ask for help. Discomfort is like a muscle. The more you engage with it, the stronger you become. 2. Shift your self-talk. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," try, "This is where I grow." Language shapes reality. 3. Pause before escaping. Next time you feel discomfort, boredom, anxiety, frustration, don't immediately reach for your phone or a distraction. Sit with it. Breathe. Notice. This simple act builds self-awareness. 4. Celebrate the stretch. Growth isn't always visible. Celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. Eventually, something beautiful happens. You start to realize that the fear was just fog. You start to trust yourself more, not because you always succeed, but because you survived the fall. You got up again. You faced it. You begin to see that discomfort is not a wall, it's a door. And behind that door is your next chapter. If you're listening to this and feeling like you're in the middle of something hard, something uncertain, painful, or exhausting, this is not the end of your story. This is the unfolding. Growth isn't linear. It's layered. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, like a shift in perspective, a moment of bravery, a whisper that says, "Keep going." You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to show up. And when you do, the journey unfolds. Thank you for walking this path with us today. This is the heart of Unfolding Journey, honoring the messy, magnificent, and meaningful process of becoming. If this message resonated with you, if it gave you a spark, a pause, or a push, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know someone who's navigating their own discomfort, share this video with them. Together, let's keep growing forward. Until next time, keep unfolding.